So this was just this month, a couple days ago, UHS forced to pay more damages, related to child sexual abuse allegations at behavioral care facilities. The health system has been hit with a combined $895 million in damages this year related to alleged child abuse at some of its behavioral health subsidiaries. So this is an organization that's been around since 1978, and they never change. So to me, that implies intent. This is why these people, and I think they will be held criminally responsible, they're doing a lot of this stuff they've been doing on purpose. So like with Stewart Hospital, people that know about that CEO, he's been, you know, he blew off a Senate hearing that he was subpoenaed to come to. He's now stepped down, Dr. Delatorre, who is the CEO there. But it's not going to change Stewart because the board members. That's the problem too. However, so the Senate is only getting on board with this because they want these things to be so messed up that you beg the government to come in and fix them. And I say no. I mean, I get, you know, it's patience, but these people, they need to be held criminally responsible. All of those people at the top, and then all of those nurses that go along with this stuff, and they justify it to themselves, you know, not to have enough staff. And I'm going to show you how for years and years, there's just been documented after documented. This is one of the worst, but there's other ones too. And I think the game that's been played forever is that DOJ goes after them, okay? But for money. And then I would bet money that when the bottom falls out, there'll be this behind closed doors, the executives of the hospital that DOJ goes after and DOJ all make out in the end, if you know what I mean. Because it's like, okay, we're going to go after you for this amount of money, but behind closed doors, we'll split it between ourselves. Because at some point, Department of Justice or people that have any ethical, moral character at all would have said, no, this is no longer, should we be going after these people at the top for money? They are a danger to society. June 2023, when a federal workplace safety investigation found that Wekiva Springs Center, a UHS-owned psychiatric facility in Jacksonville, Florida, failed to improve worker safety procedures, resulting in dozens of incidents involving workers being assaulted, the U.S. Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, yeah, they're useless, 182 alleged incidences, nearly 70% of which required police response in a 6-month period, and 10 alleged violent incidences in less than 2 months. So there comes a point where you have you know, especially after the UHS has been, this is their pattern all the time. They do not change. If they do change, they get worse. They continue to put patients and staff in harm's way. And then they get the nurse leaders, like from the nursing association levels, that'll go along with their disgusting agendas. And those people need to be held accountable too, because there comes a point when it's intent. You can't sit there and say that, no, it's just this or it's that. No, you don't keep accepting patients when you don't have the staff to care for them. They will accept the patients, no matter how little staff you have. But they'll put patients in the hospital even without parents, guardians knowing. Yeah, I mean, I've had parents, you know, call and nobody ever informed, nobody let them know, because they've taken the nurse out of this whole process. And they've taken the nurse out of it because we would recognize that maybe this isn't somebody, when it was an ethical system, the nurse and the doctor collaborated. Now it's just, you know, intake workers. And then you find out, you know, you get a patient that's a minor and the parent has no idea where their kid is. Yeah, so how do these hospitals get around that? So it's because it's all about money, and at this point, with as much, even the international level, okay, has said that it is a horrifying nightmare what this organization and many others have gotten away with. And I don't trust any agency at the international level. I just don't. Because you have to remember, a lot of this is designed too, because they want people to say the federal government has to do. That's what Bernie wants you to do, is say, we need the federal government to regulate. No, when the federal government gets involved, it brings in more agencies and regulations that don't help. I mean, we have OSHA. They don't do anything. They don't. You make a report, it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, they're all in bed together is what I'm saying. So these board members of these hospitals, these CEOs of these hospitals, they don't care who reports them. They don't care who you report them to, because they know they're greasing the wheels with all the federal agencies. I mean, here, just below me here, River Point Behavioral Health, multiple patients reported being unjustifiably detained to exploit their insurance coverage. Yeah, that's common. As a result, 5 former patients filed lawsuits against both River Point and Wekiva Springs. And people have spoken up, and, judges have, such as here. Judge David Bazelon Center filed an amicus brief in court noting UHS facilities continue to commit the same violations again and again. Their record of repeat violations seems even more alarming when considered in light of some of the company's statements and its increasing role in our mental health care system. Yes. Further, UHS's violations are not only, I can't see part of it because of, the screenshot, and serious, but repeated as well. Federal and state agencies require plan correction. Yeah, so that hasn't done any good either. See, UHS in 2020 went under this agreement. Yeah, for short, it's the CIA. The Corporate Integrity Agreement. Yeah, nothing has changed. With the Office of Inspector General as part of a settlement of allegations of fraud, which include admitting patients to their residential treatment facilities who did not require that level of care, failing to discharge patients when they no longer needed inpatient care, billing services not rendered, and for improper and excessive lengths of stay, and for improper use of physical and chemical restraints. So this is the federal government getting into bed with corporate, which is why OSHA and nobody can do anything about everybody getting hurt. Because, again, they're all just greasing each other's wheels. On January 20th, 2023, a federal administrative law judge affirmed that UHS of Delaware, Inc. exposed employees to workplace violence, yes, without adequate protections, yes, in 2019, particularly at times when the hospital staffing was low. In addition, a judge sanctioned UHS of Delaware for destroying surveillance videos showing workplace violence. Yeah, because they have cameras everywhere, I've said. And yet, I've said it's as if they want people to get hurt. And because nobody is this stupid for this long that does this repeatedly over and over again. So they're a danger to society, and they're heading up the mental health facilities, okay? But really, they should be taken into custody. They're a danger to society because clearly they show intent to want to hurt others. At some point, you can't keep making excuses. And this was 2020. This was from Department of Justice, but I think they're all greased. They're just getting the payout of all of this, okay? Because at some point you'd think that somebody at Department of Justice would realize that this healthcare organization, and there's other ones, that these board members and these executives need to be held criminally responsible. But never. Well, they will be. It's coming.